right, welcome Lincolnites and Scratch the Vinyl fans. This is going to be an STV Extra. We had something major happen, just a massive loss in our local scene, and not just here but around the world. We had the passing of Jeff Runnings from Four Against, and Randy and I we were just so compelled to talk about this that we thought, we're going to cut an extra. So here we go. Let's just kind of work through it, Randy. This has been a tough deal, hasn't it?
Yeah, because Jeff's husband is a really good friend of mine, Sean Applegate, and so I felt really compelled for us to talk today and give a little highlight and a shout out for Jeff's work with For and Against, because in all reality, we have lost a you know a great artist right here from Lincoln, Nebraska, and that's really what our show's about is featuring artists here in Lincoln and it's unfortunate that we were in conversations with Jeff up to you know, up to his passing, and because of the nature of his illness and cancer, we just weren't quite able to pull it off to have him on the show, but he wanted to. And you know that because we did message him several times, and we got some great information from him. And I first want to preface, um, you know, serious heartfelt from us here and myself, from Scratch the Vinyl to Sean, uh, on the passing of Jeff Runnings.
Yeah, I know that this is very close to you because his husband is a personal friend of yours. You've known him for years. I know that you actually had even talked to Sean and spoke to him the night that Jeff passed. And it's just so hard. And I mean, we really we were trying so hard to get him on the show. We were trying to prepare for really, hey, we'll do it anytime, right? We'll do it if you're able or if you're up for it at, you know, 1 a.m. or whatever, we'll make it work. It just never really did. I am personally glad that I got to speak to Jeff on Messenger at least once before he passed and just express to him how much his catalog meant to me after going through it, and how there were just certain songs that touched me so much that every time I listen to them, they make me cry. And that's granted, I'm a crier when it comes to music anyway, but that's how much it affects me. And we really want to eventually tell this story to you guys and get some people on here who can more adequately tell it from their side in being with Jeff. And so this is the journey that we're on right now. We're just gonna. This is kind of just a quick tribute to Jeff and our condolences to the family. And we just hope that as Jeff crosses the old Rainbow Bridge, that he doesn't have any more pain now, and he's looking down and he's happy that everybody is diving into his music again, and we all miss him.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it was such a privilege to talk to Jeff in some of those last days a couple weeks ago about, he really wanted to talk about the scene, the music scene here in Lincoln during that time. I mean, they were basically revolutionary in that post-punk rock era. Um, you know, they reached levels that most British bands could only dream of that genre. I mean, you know, it's that ethereal rock, cold wave. Uh, these guys were leaders, and here we had it in our own backyard. And I wish I was just a little bit older. I would have got the full effect of that scene, and that's why we were interested in this story to begin with. And it's unfortunate that we won't get to hear it from Jeff himself. But I tell you what, Jeff's impact was major on a lot of people, and hopefully here in the future we're going to be able to do it justice and have a whole show with hopefully former bandmates and maybe other bands that were, that got the direct benefit of what they were doing here in that scene.
Well, I would even say because I grew up in a time in music where the punk scene was pretty alive when I was in high school, and I would have to say that probably a lot of these bands, their parents were into this scene and were probably fans of Four Against and had the chance to go watch them at some of these different places. So I like to think to myself that they were the early pioneers of a lot of the great punk music that Lincoln has pumped out as of right now. So I really think that one good example of that would be one of our legendary guests from the Prids, Miss Stina LaFave. She actually went on Facebook and she has been talking about Jeff and, obviously offering her condolences. And I had spoken with her about a letter that was posted. I don't know if you saw this, Randy, but basically what Mistina said was a lovely memory to receive. It's foggy, but I love that someone else treasured this night. So the night she's referring to is a fan had written to her saying, uh, hi again, friend. I hope you've been well. I saw yesterday's news about Jeff Running's passing and wanted to send my thoughts your way. So the memory he's referring to, he has a treasured memory of when Four Against and the Prids were playing at Lincoln Calling in 2005. He said, my friend Justin and I drove 12 hours out of out of the day of the show to be there, and I don't know if I've ever been as excited for anything since then. He said it totally lived up to its expectation in every way. Aside from the amazing sets, you and Jeff were both so very accommodating, giving more of your time and grace than my 21-year-old geeky ass deserves, is what he said. And this is a true music fan right here. I mean, they drove 12 hours to come to Lincoln Calling to see these guys and then to be able to talk to their idols like that is an amazing thing. So, I won't get into the whole letter because I mean I don't want to get too wordy here, but I just thought that particular memory had a massive impact on somebody, and that's not the only one I've seen. I combed through messages on YouTube, on Jeff's personal Facebook page. Lots of people are coming out from Germany and all over saying how much the music meant to them, and that's a massive impact if you ask me.
Well, absolutely. Look, over the course of what, 40 years, they put out 8 albums, three singles, one EP, and here at the end, there is going to be one last album, and hopefully in June it's going to be released. But we do get the opportunity to have one last vinyl to open, and and that's kind of Jeff's last gift to his fans and to the one person he loved the most. And so uh, I I mean they got a Grammy nomination for their album cover for Echelons. I mean, I still can't overstate how much of an impact they had on the music scene here, and Jeff's legacy will live on forever.
Yeah, think about that, how huge that really is. I mean, say it again. They got a Grammy nomination for something. I mean, me as a local musician, I can only dream and would never achieve. And it's not saying that, and that's a lot of us out here. I'll never achieve that status. They hit this status that was higher than any of us will ever get. They toured in Europe. I mean, they were beloved by many. They're even known to be better than the British bands that started the genre of what they are in. I mean, they planted their flag firmly, and they'll always be remembered for that. And Jeff was a major reason for that with the way he wrote lyrics and how they formulated the songs.
I remember reading one of the punk rock magazines that considered Four Against literally the best post-punk rock band that not enough people know about. I mean, that's the credit they had from the real people in the real music scene, and that's just amazing.
Yeah, that's an absolute tribute to how well they did what they did. You know what I mean? I mean, they were just so good at it, and it's just so sad. But I can't wait for the new album. It looks like it's going to be a double album, like a two disc and a two vinyl album, and it's just Jeff pouring out his heart like he always did, and the band doing what they've always done, which is evoke that emotion that you long for when you listen to music.
Yeah, it wasn't hard for me to pick out my favorite songs out of his catalog, uh, and and when I try to describe it to people, it is emotion. I mean, um, that's the most descriptive word I can say when it comes to listen to most of Jeff's releases is just the emotion it evokes in you.
Yeah, I could only hope to write a song that really does that for somebody. And they did it. They achieved it on many different songs, not just one, not a couple, but many full albums of it. And although Jeff is gone, his memory is going to live on. I was reading on postpunk.com. Um, there was a message that I thought was beautiful. It said, "Much love to Jeffrey, his friends, and his family. He will be deeply missed, but may his music forever live in our hearts." I think that's a great tribute. So thank you to postpunk.com for that message, and just I don't I'm kind of tongue tied on this whole deal because it was just we knew it was going to happen, but it's never easy when you lose somebody like this.
Well, I'm gonna help us wrap up, and it was fortunate enough that they were able to do a benefit for Jeff in the first part of February. And it was unfortunate that we were unable to go to, and it was unfortunate that Jeff wasn't really able to go to either. His condition had got so bad. But the people that showed up, his former bandmates, his former friends in the music industry, former fans, they did show up. They did raise some money for the cost of, what Jeff was going through, and so basically, I really want to end this show, um, with a kind of a positive note, which is, it's sad that Jeff has passed, but his music will live on forever. And I really want to encourage anybody and everybody that can who cared about Jeff and Sean and Jeff's music with Four Against to go to his Facebook page, and if you can, uh, donate to their GoFundMe page, and and keep a lookout for that new album coming out, and 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 really buy that last album, and I guarantee you'll be an instant fan, and it'll make you want to dive back into all of his music. And so, uh, again, my thoughts and prayers go out to Sean and and his fans and friends, and and thank you for, you know being a big influence on the music scene here in Lincoln.